Us on WFMY Plus. You want to keep it here through today, this evening, and even through tomorrow, because we're going to keep you updated on some very wet weather for our part of the Piedmont. We couldn't rule out maybe a little flash flooding with some heavy downpours through today and even into the day tomorrow. And for the inclement and very wet weather that we expect, we have issued a weather impact alert day, actually two of them, today through tomorrow. And this is going to be kind of an all-day rain. It may not rain heavily all day, but we'll see pockets of embedded heavier rain in what will really turn out to be a continuous rain across our part of the Piedmont. Maybe an embedded thunderstorm. However, at this point, we do not expect severe weather. Now, you could see a flash of lightning or maybe hear a rumble of thunder, and that's about it. The atmosphere overall is not only very wet, but it's pretty stable and not in a condition to bring any severe weather to our part of the Piedmont. Make sure you grab the umbrella and the rain gear, because I tell you what, the umbrella is going to get a washout over the next 2 to 3 days because of this very slow weather system that will move across the southeastern United States. Of course, drive with caution in areas of heavier downpours. There will likely be some standing water on the streets and highways. And again, if any flood warnings are issued, which would imply that flooding is taking place, of course, we'll let you know about that. It is so vital. If you haven't done this, you got to do it now, or at least when you get through watching this segment. Download the WFMY News 2 weather app. That is just the coolest app that you could ever have on your smartphone. Not only can you see live radar and track the rain along with us, but it's so vital because you can get any severe weather watches or warnings. Now again, we're already under a flood watch, and that's what we're going to do, watch things. But later on today and tonight, we could see actually some flash flood warnings, and you want to make sure you get that information, and you can do that. It's like having a weather station in the palm of your hand. Now look at these incredible rain chances. A near 100% chance of rain today through tonight, 70% chance tomorrow. The trend will be through the week is to lower the probabilities as the rain becomes more scattered in nature. By Wednesday, about a 50% chance of scattered showers. And then we're really hoping for some drying as we move into Thursday and Friday. Not completely taking a shower out of the forecast, but we're going to reduce it down to about a 20% chance. So we're saying mainly dry for Thursday and Friday. But by the end of the week, as you'll see on the 7-day coming up in just a minute, we could have temperatures on Friday approaching 90 degrees here in the Piedmont. We take a live look at radar. I've been watching this batch of heavier rain over eastern Georgia. Now it's moving into southern South Carolina. All rain elements on radar are tracking to the north, so this is headed our way. I think this batch will continue to progress north and move into our part of the Piedmont midday and on through the afternoon and overnight period. But as we see, as we take a closer examination of radar in our backyard, we're starting to see more of these little pockets where the color on the radar goes from light green to dark green. And then when you see the yellow, orange, and red, that's when we're seeing some heavy downpours. Now that red means very heavy rain, but no severe weather. We normally associate heavy rain with severe storms, but again, we do not expect severe storms. So where you see these pockets of yellow, orange, and red, that's where the rain is a little bit heavier. So you may be driving down the road and all of a sudden, wham, you get this heavy downpour that you'll be moving through. And we're seeing some of this really develop in some of our southern areas. We zoom into the southern Piedmont and the Sandhills. levels. Lee County, Moore County, Montgomery County, we're seeing some of those pockets. Look in the northwestern part of Montgomery County. You would say, oh, severe weather. No, that's not the case. Maybe a little thunder here, but certainly that is a pocket of heavy rain that will lift into southern areas of Davidson County over the next 30 minutes or so. And I think we'll continue to see the rain rates only increase as we head through today and tonight. Rainfall totals so far for today since midnight. Yeah, not a lot of rain, but that's going to change as we go through the day. We've had about 1/10 of an inch of rain in Winston-Salem. Most areas around 1, 2, 3 1/100ths of an inch of rain. But look over at Boone, where they've already since midnight had over 1/2 of an inch of rain. Today, tomorrow, and even through Wednesday, during that 3-day time frame, we could rack up several inches of rain here in the Piedmont. High pressure offshore, it's contributing on the backside, moisture coming in off of the Atlantic Ocean, but it's a stubborn area of surface low pressure that is over the deep south, and it's in an ideal position with its counterclockwise wind circulation to really grab some deep layer moisture from the Gulf. It overrides the cold front and the warm front and brings rain to our part of the Piedmont. Now we go from midday today to midday on Tuesday. System hasn't moving very much. It is slowly drifting to the northeast. It won't be until midweek on into Wednesday that we'll finally start to kick this system to the northeast. And after Wednesday, I think we'll start to see some much welcome improvements in Piedmont weather. We got to go into the upper atmosphere at the jet stream level, up at about 36,000 feet. This is the parent low. So you've got low pressure at the surface, but it extends into the upper levels of the atmosphere. And this low, although it's beginning to kind of open up as a wave right now, over the past several days, it's been a closed low, or what we call a cutoff low. It's cut off from the main jet stream. So it doesn't have anything to really push it along and eventually move it on out. It's just kind of wobbling over the southeastern United States. And because of the slow movement of the upper level low, the surface low is going to be a slow mover as well. Eventually, a system will come in from the Rockies and kind of kick the system to the northeast. But again, that process won't begin until probably Wednesday. Now we look at our long range with our European model. It is sopping wet. Again, the rain rates continue to increase today. Through the day, pockets of heavier rain tonight, and even for the better part of the day on Tuesday, more scattered showers and rain for our part of the Piedmont. Even on the forecast model, we see some areas where we see the yellow and orange coloring, meaning that it's forecasting some pockets of heavier rain. And then by Wednesday, with the anticipation of this low starting to move to the northeast and kind of away from our area and away from the Gulf of Mexico, where it's getting its real moisture source, we're going to see the rain on Wednesday more in the way of scattered showers on the radar, not a general heavy rain. And then as we work into Thursday and even into Friday, not completely taking rain out of the forecast, but we reduce it down to an incredible low amount, only a 20% chance for Thursday and for Friday. But again, as you'll see in the 7-day, we're going to really turn up the heat. Thursday, mid-80s, and by Friday, we could get, again, pretty close to the 90-degree mark. Here's some good news out of all this sopping wet rain that we're going to have over the next 3 days. We are not in the severe weather outlook. This is not a setup that would bring severe weather to our part of the Piedmont, meaning the atmosphere is kind of cool and at the moment pretty stable. And that means that severe weather can't grow over our area, although again, maybe a flash of lightning, maybe a rumble of thunder, but that's about it. Now we go over South Carolina, parts of southwestern North Carolina, into Georgia and eastern areas of Tennessee around Knoxville. Certainly those areas may see a strong or severe storm, but even there it's at the low end, level 1 for the threat of severe storms. Now what our concern is over the next couple of days is the possibility of continuous rain and pockets of heavy rain that could lead to areas of flash flooding. And therefore you see the flash flood risk. We are in the level 2 category, and that covers all of our viewing area, much of North Carolina, South Carolina, and into Virginia as well. So that is an elevated risk of some heavy downpours that could lead to flash flooding. That's for today. As we go into Tuesday, the threat decreases somewhat, but even so, we're still in level 1 for the flash flood risk coming up on Tuesday. So it still bears watching even through Tuesday and Tuesday night. And with the anticipation, or at least the possibility, of maybe some heavy downpours and areas of flash flooding, we have a flood watch. Now you know the difference. Flood watch means we're just kind of watching things and see how they pan out on radar. But if a warning is issued, that implies that flooding is actually occurring. And that's the reason we want you to download the WFMY News 2 weather app, because if those warnings are issued, you'll get that information on your app. And when this was issued earlier, those of you that have already downloaded the app got this information. So a watch now, and we couldn't rule out some warnings over the next 24 to 36 hours. A soaking rain, and this goes for the next 5 days, mainly the rain for us through Wednesday, again more scattered on Wednesday, but 2 to 3 inches of rain, not for everybody, but some areas could get that much rain over a 3-day period today and right on through Wednesday. Some of our foothill locations could get upwards of 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain. Couldn't even rule that for the mountain locations as well. Keep the umbrella close. Keep your WFMY News 2 weather app tuned up and turned on so you can get the latest information, and stay right here on WFMY Plus, because we're going to be doing segments all through today, tonight, and during the day tomorrow as well to keep you updated. Rain is likely today. We think pockets of heavy rain are a sure bet. Temperatures into the cooler upper 60s today. That's helping to keep any severe weather away from our part of the Piedmont. And then tonight, periods of rain again. Through today and even overnight tonight, some pockets of heavier rain could lead to areas of flash flooding. Not much in the way of temperature change. We'll drop back into the lower 60s. And then tomorrow, periods of rain coming up on Tuesday, and we'll move the temperatures up a notch, about 73 for the high coming up on Tuesday. Get a close look at the 7-day forecast. Of course, our weather impact alert days today through tomorrow, and then on Wednesday we will start to see not clearing, but I think the rain rate will decrease for all of us as rain becomes more widely scattered in nature. And notice the temperatures start to move up. 76 on Wednesday, mid-80s on Thursday, and by Friday we could see temperatures into the upper 80s. For now, we'll keep a low, very low 20% shower chance in the forecast right on through the upcoming weekend. Again, if you're just joining us, just want to recap the weather impact alert in effect for today through tomorrow. Kind of an all-day rain during this period, widespread rain and showers, maybe some thunder, but no severe weather expected. You'll definitely need the rain gear. You'll want to be extra cautious when you're driving to and from work, and be on the lookout for definitely some ponding water with those heavier downpours across the area. High rate of rain, 100% chance today, 70% chance tomorrow, 50% chance on Wednesday, and we're being very optimistic that we'll be able to dry things out finally by Thursday and Friday. So we're watching this big batch of heavier rain, non-severe weather here, lifting to the north. This will be moving through South Carolina into our part of the Piedmont later today and tonight, but already note the yellow and orange and red areas where we're seeing some heavier downpours. When we first came on a few minutes ago, we had this little cell that was in the northwestern part of Montgomery County. It is around Southmont right now, not severe, maybe a little thunder, but in those areas where we see that yellow, orange, and red, certainly some very heavy rainfall. Stay with us here on WFMY Plus. We have got cut-ins lined up, and we're going to give you the very latest information. We'll show you the live radar, and of course, we'll let you know if any flash flood warnings are issued. Not a definite for that, but that is certainly a possibility later on today and through the overnight period as more of that heavy rain continues to work into our part of the Piedmont. Stay tuned, stay safe, and keep that WFMY News 2 weather app close by. Have a great and safe Monday.